All right, guys, what is up? It is another Building in Public Day 9. Today, I will be showing you all the tools. I do sound a little tired because I am. I took pretty much the day off. I did some work in the morning, but I was really burnt. I had kind of a day off yesterday, so I don't know if something's going on. I don't know if I'm getting sick. I don't know if I'm just exhausted. I don't know if it's because I didn't have my caffeine this morning, but whatever. Anyways, we could jump in. I'm just gonna talk a little bit about what tools I use and why I use them, kind of why they help me, and hopefully you find something useful that helps you too. But we'll just jump right in. Let me pull up the list. All right, let's see if it shows. Hopefully it does. Yeah, it looks like it's showing. I'll minimize this baby. Let's minimize this real quick. All right, cool. So my favorite tool for all of you guys that know me, I'm a Notion maxi. I love this thing. I use it for everything. I'm using it right now when I share these docs with you. It's what I use. It's kind of just like my favorite tool for dumping things out of my brain, and I'll kind of show you guys a little bit of what I mean by that. So like, um, let's say I want to track books I read. I usually make drop downs and I kind of like organize the books I'm looking at. And if any books come to mind, instead of just like storing them in my brain, I just bring them in here. If I have product ideas, I throw them in here. For this build in public stuff, I throw that all in here. Every time I come up with um, some type of idea, or if I hear something from someone and I really like it and I'm like, I don't want to forget it, I, throw that in here. Like, for example, I wanted to do something with the ebook, searched up some keywords, threw it in here. I could let the idea sit for days, weeks, months, however long until I have the free time to like execute on it, and then I'm good. So I love Notion. You can customize it however you want. When I worked in crypto, um, I used to do that to manage databases. I wonder if I have, let me see, maybe a backup of something. Yeah, I have some pretty dense databases. I'm not sure if they will show, but here's like outreach. Hopefully not show any emails. Let's just take the whitelist database. Yeah, and you can see tons of, people on sheets and whatnot. I was using this collaborative. Shout out some of my crypto boys. It was a lot of fun. You can see how we organize things. Um, what else do I have in here that I really like? I just like the ability to like build things out very quickly. I did stop using some features like calendars. I used to have my calendar with a ton of things in it. You could probably see last year. I don't know if I can even click this to see last year, but I stopped using the calendar function because I just found it like redundant with my workflow, and I'll get into that a bit later. But it didn't make too much sense. I really do just like all these blocks you can create. So you could create text, pages, a page just has text within it, to-do list, headings, tables, even like quotes. I'll do client quotes on here because it's easy. You can image generate, you could embed images, you can write code. I wonder if I have any like really fleshed out pages that are like pretty. So I feel like that might be encouraging. I know I made one for somebody. Um, like for example, I remade Scrum planning off of someone else's example because I knew I could remake it. I did this for somebody who was running a holiday, um, I guess like a holiday agency, right? They had their team, their work hours, their content, their quoting. I kind of got all that through. Um, kind of just built it for them so that they could keep working. I know for the studio, I've done like documents. I have like studio membership agreement, rules and guideline. I build these things out, right? And then they're fleshed out. And then I don't have to worry about them. Usually throw them into a doc. You could export it to a PDF, whatever makes sense for you. I have pipelines. I don't want to open this up because it's got some emails and stuff, but build CRMs, whatever it is you're looking to do. That's Notion. That's probably my favorite thing. Um, even like for today's notes, let me jump in here, day 10, open it up. And then that brings me to my second one, ConvertKit. I had no idea how to sell online, so I'd always take like Cash App, Zelle, Venmo, etc. And then I kind of got over it, so I dug through a couple of tools. I've used things like Gumroad. I was selling my ebook there. It's all right. I don't really dislike it, but it's not my favorite. Then I stumbled on ConvertKit, which is actually quite popular. I'll show you guys that real quick. ConvertKit is so nice because it lets you do multiple things in one place, and it's pretty powerful. And I'll give you an example. It's like I can see all my subscribers here. I'm not going to click it because I don't want emails out, but you can create landing pages and forms, right? So I'll give you guys an example of a landing page or a form. Um, for like a map embed. Actually, which one is more fleshed out? Because some of these are like modals or whatnot. So we'll just do this window installation quote and contact us form, right? It's built in, but the beauty of it is that once it's out and it's on a site or on your Instagram, whatever you use, it all brings it back to here. And it's really easy to go and look at your contacts, right? Like if I have, 20 people, 30 people, 40 people, 100 people in my email list, it's really easy to look at them and retarget them. And another feature that's really cool in that is like the visual automations. So I do use visual automations. So I'll give you an example. Is I had a ebook and I gave it away for free, completely free. But I was down horrendous, right? So I was like, I need to try to make some money off this, but I still want to give it away for free, right? Like I don't want to just start charging for it. So what I did was I had an upsell funnel, where I tied the landing page of the ebook. Every time somebody got it, it tagged them for me, right? It said learning recording, right? So I know who they are. They're a target audience of people who are learning recording. Then I did some filtering, right? Which basically said that they receive, um, I think, what are they subscribed? And if yes, then I sent them a thank you, right? And if they are subscribed and they received the thank you, then they also got an email campaign that essentially said, hey, if you liked it, donate, right? And then to follow that up, I want to reward them in the future. So I made like another one that goes, if they did donate from the ebook, right? Like if they gave me tips, then they're a donor. No one donated though, so fuck it. It'd be like that. Um, but that's something I really like. And then you have like a products page, which I really think is amazing because you can just bill your products directly there. So I have different tiers of studio access, and it's really easy because if they purchase through that tier, then one, it's done automatically. They don't have to message you and figure it out. But two, you can also create email campaigns. So like for me, if I have a new studio member and they enroll, I want them to get specific things. I give them like a free course, right? That I used to have on a Patreon, um, or Patreon, and you know, I was no longer using the Patreon, so I'm like, let me give them this free course. They get access to my free ebook, no longer free ebook, but free for them. And then they have like some special credentials that they have to fill out so that they can have access to the studio, right? That's all automated. So if you were to sign up today, it does that automatically, and I don't have the headache of it. And I think that right now I'm really trying to hone in on like building things that don't require my maintenance all the way. And the reason is because, I'm limited by my time. So if I occupy too much of my time, one, I diminish the quality of the service I provide, right? Whatever service it is. But two, I also can't continue to scale, right? I'm limited by myself. So I think that that's a really big one for me. That's why I really do like, ConvertKit, but that kind of brings me into my other thing, right? In terms of automating. my next tool, pretty sure it's next on the list. Yep, is Skeda, right? Skeda is what I use as my booking system for the studio. The studio has its own codes. This has its own booking system. Enrolling is automated, right? So basically, it's near A to Z, without, any hand holding. I do let all members have access, so, at the end of the day, it does take some of my time, but it doesn't take a ton of it, right? And I think that that's really important because I want to be able to focus on like providing value at the studio rather than like managing schedules. I used to run a studio in North Hollywood, and all of my time was spent running scheduling and scheduling engineers and scheduling sessions, and honestly it's a headache. This makes everything so much easier. And what's really cool is you can limit usage as well. So like different tier members have different amounts of hours they can use. I can just put that into this program here. And so what this is it's basically a calendar where people can book in. As you can see, this month has been super slow. There have been a couple sessions that I haven't thrown in, which is just on me, but when it's slow, you don't really got to worry. And then, you can kind of track people's usage, etc. So like if I see July, I can see, all the bookings in July. I don't know if June was doing all right. They're doing okay. But you can see things like that. I really like it because it's really at your fingertips. There's a phone app, so everything's smooth. So for me, it's really about like the things I usually focus on with all the tools I mentioned so far is like getting things out of my head so that I don't really have to like, I'm already an overthinker. So I can like think less about them and think more about big picture things that may make, significant impact on what I'm doing. Easier to reevaluate your decisions, easier to like boil specific issues or obstacles down. So that's kind of the way I think about it. But um yeah, that's Skeda. Super simple. All these tools have paid versions and free versions. And if you find any of them useful, I would highly recommend just trying them out. Try out the trial. Like Notion is almost it's probably you don't I would argue you don't even need the premium plans of Notion. I use it because I use Notion for everything, but in general I would say you're pretty much good. And then that brings me to my last thing, which I have not been using recently, and that's Routine, which is a calendar application. Um, the only reason I haven't been using it is because usually if I'm not too busy, if my day's not like completely crammed and I can juggle it, I just usually just, keep things top of mind and keep juggling it because I already write things down. I don't feel like a huge issue. But I will say, like now that I'm starting to get a bit more stressed because I got more on my plate, I got more going. I like to brain dump all the tasks I have, trivial, non-trivial, whatever it is, and I throw them in. And yes, you can do it with Google Calendar. Um, but I find this one useful specifically because I can just add tasks to a list, sort them by day, and then throw them into my calendar however I please. That way, if I have something I need to get done on Wednesday, but say I don't know what my Wednesday looks like because I have a ton of pending things that all can move around, then it gives me that like freedom. I don't, I no longer like forget or double book, for example, because I no longer have the issue of like, oh man, I didn't know I had to get that done by this day, right? So, those are my favorite tools. If you have any tools that you love that you would like me to check out, I'd be more than happy. Um, Hopefully this video wasn't too long. I do appreciate you guys. I love you. Sorry I was so tired. Burnout is very real. Um, but we're getting it. Studio's coming along. I might end this with a little time lapse, but I do appreciate you. Thank you for sticking around. And if you like it, like it. And if you like what we're doing here, subscribe. And if you want to talk shit, do it in the comments. I love you.